Okay, I want to say hello again everybody, welcome to another video. Okay, in this video I've got a bowl of crisps, okay, potato chips. I just tipped them into this bowl just for easy eating. in this video I'm going to try to talk maturely, because you know me, man, I go into rants, I swear, I have raged at the camera in past years gone by, but in this video I'm going to try and speak maturely and sensibly, right? The other day I left some comments on someone's video. Okay, there's a guy on YouTube. There's a guy on YouTube who's great. He's over 50, his age wise, and he's working out. He's in very good shape, his body, and he just kept himself, you know, really fit and healthy. And when he was younger, well, like most of his life, he's always been a big fan of martial arts too, which is great. Well, because I like it, you know, so I'll say that's great. But he's been training though various arts that I've also trained, you know. So and I left a comment on his. I left a couple of comments on his videos saying, like, you know, well done, you know, it's just great. Who am I to say well done? I mean, I don't believe anyone has the damn audacity to even, you know, put themselves up on a pedestal to tell others what level they're on. Well done, you're doing great. As though I'm some kind of fucking I'll swear, sorry, sometimes I do swear, but as if I'm some goddamn fucking know-it-all, you know. No. So, but I'm just saying that, or the same as to put people down and tell them, oh, that's no good and blah blah blah. I'm not that kind of person that would do that. But anyway, I gave the guy some support. He was happy for it, you know, he was happy about it. I said, yeah, man, I said, you know, so many people now, the young people, the young generations, just say, I don't know, man, just like the new generations of people coming out, they don't know about the past history when it comes to martial arts. Like, they don't know it. And when I mean they don't know it, I mean they really haven't walked it. They haven't been into it and trained it. Come on, man, let's be realistic now. How many people of the modern day have trained kung fu, ninjutsu, aikido, even karate? There's still a lot of people doing karate, but I'm just saying, like, you know, let's talk about kung fu styles. How many people out there training the mantis? You know, I mean, the 5 animal kung fu, the drunken, the wushu, tai chi, as in tai chi, combat for actual self-defense, actual real fucking fighting combat self-defense. But what, it's not going to happen. You know, you don't hear of it, even in China here. Even here in China, it's 2020, and it's a real sad thing. Real sad thing, because this is true knowledge. You know, yes, Muay Thai has survived, you know. Yes, some arts, some skills from Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of people don't even understand that that's originally a Japanese art, but it was like the Gracies, you know, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is another thing. much later, you know, much later, we're talking, made all this ground fighting and everything. Yeah, ground fighting skills are important. All kinds of techniques and tactics are important. That's why the army learn all different kinds of tactics, diving and everything. But the point is, you know, people don't realise, and there's certain arts that have survived to some extent, like skills of jiu-jitsu. Again, certain things you see, of course, like boxing and kickboxing, obviously, boxing, kickboxing, and Muay Thai, all coming from like karate, taekwondo, that same sort of thing, but they're like spin-offs of it, sort of thing, you know. And I'll probably get that chucked in my face by some people too, telling me that I'm wrong. But I read up the history, man. I said, you know, but these arts are kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, karate, taekwondo. You know, I think less people know of Hapkido now. It's like Aikido, they're like not so in the know about it. But like, they know that these arts exist. Judo, another one. Olympic judo, you know, that's all they know. Olympic. In this day and age, all they talk about is MMA. And that's why I'm making this video. To clear this up, based on my own studies. I'm not trying to teach everybody, I'm not trying to tell anybody out there that you're not doing traditional martial arts, or what you do is no good, or what you do is not martial arts. I'm not trying to say that as black and white. I'm not trying to tell people that what you do is good or bad or no good. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm just basing it on my study, my lifelong study. Since I was a kid, my whole life I've been forging myself in the martial arts. And there's knowledge that people don't know. And that is what I'm trying to share. In the history, there were people that did not know Kung Fu. You know, however you pronounce it, Kung Fu, Wushu, Wugong, however you pronounce it, Kung Fu. Right. Kung Fu, Gung Fu, whatever. But there are people that did not know what it was. And there's various different forms, kinds, and there's hard and soft, okay? There's physical training where you see some people and their bodies are built, muscle, lean, you know, flexible, yeah. You need flexibility in most martial arts anyway, to different extents, but you need it. You definitely need to be more flexible than the average person. Even if you're doing techniques like small frame techniques like Wing Chun, which I practice a lot of, or arts like Aikido, however you pronounce it, Aikido, which also just relies on very simple techniques, simple movements. It's not flashy. Wing Chun's not flashy, Aikido's not flashy, and really Tai Chi, pushing hands, Tai Chi is not flashy. And and the thing is, they think traditional martial arts is all like a joke. It's like it's a dance. In this day and age, they do not understand. I'm not putting these people down. They don't know, and they don't believe it. it's quite comical because back in the day, in the ancient history, if you would have said, in the history, this is really true in history, not just in the movies, like it was also portrayed and showed, and in old stories of old, but in the ancient history, the old times, Kung Fu, because it was so deep, and it was so, it is to this day, but it's like it's just dying out, the art, people are not practicing and knowing it, but the arts were so, incredible. They were almost unbelievable. So people would see someone with a slim build. Let's say like myself. I'm not like muscle man, 6-pack, ripped and that. But they wouldn't believe. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say it's not good to have that. Of course, it's good to have like more physique, better physique. Yeah, I know that. But as I say, different things are meant for different things. So you might need a saw, or you might need a hammer, or you might need a drill. Scraper. Different kinds of tools are used for different things. So you don't always need all that muscle. How much? Listen, right? I tell you now, man. You don't have to. You don't have to listen to me. You can put me down and say that I'm totally ignorant. Okay. But the other day I had an insult from someone trying to teach me, someone butting into my conversation. I was having a conversation with. I left a comment on someone's video saying it was great to see someone showing the arts, the old arts, at least something along those lines. And I was praising him and that, and the guy is in great physique, the guy, as well. He works out a lot. He's not like me, that where I'm not doing the same kind of training he does, but I've been training my whole life. Probably harder in certain aspects, but not as hard in other aspects. And my Kung Fu, as I said, doesn't show. It's not a show. Like they say in true martial arts and true Kung Fu, it's the skills that show. Okay, it's not the muscles. The main thing. It's like Bruce Lee was like thin, but he was shredded. He had loads of muscle. That's because he was working out in a certain way, for certain things. So if you want to be an MMA fighter, or any martial artist really, I'm saying you want to have some better physique, yeah, of course, okay? But, yeah, if you want to be lean and muscly and able to, I don't know, like it's a physical fighting, you've got hard and soft. You need a balance of both. The art of Wing Chun Kung Fu was invented by a woman. Not by Yip Man, okay? Ye Wen in Mandarin. No. Not by Donnie Yen, who people don't realise this. It's a film based on a real character, okay? Donnie Yen, a fantastic martial artist and actor who I've been following since the 80s, So many old movies that people don't know of. But he's known for portraying this character, Yip Man, okay, Ye Wen, who was a teacher who taught Bruce Lee some Wing Chun. He was like the first of Bruce Lee's teachers. But some people don't realise that Yip Man, or Ye Wen, okay, was not the founder of Wing Chun, okay? In Mandarin it's Yung Chun as well, that's Wing Chun, okay? It was actually created by a woman, it was developed by a woman. And there's a story and a history. I'm not going to go into it now, you better read up the story, okay? It's a fairly short, nice little tale, but it's about how a smaller frame person could use these skills and powers to overcome a much bigger, stronger opponent. Hold on. I'm not talking about these people in silk outfits or whatever outfits, colourful outfits, doing poses and positions, fancy Kung Fu. Nowadays on YouTube, and they get their fucking ass beat by the real fighters, the MMA. I'm not talking about that, okay? They're people that are posing and fucking doing a show and they're mocking. They don't know what they're doing. They're not training for real. But the true, real way of Kung Fu is deep, and it is, in terms of fighting ability, is so much more advanced and deep. We can't say what style is better than any style, or what technique is better than any other technique, because it takes, the situation. It depends on the situation, how you use a certain technique, how an individual, anybody uses it in that moment. Speed, the slight difference of angle, power, yes, or use of the opponent's power against them, or use of your own power, movement, stillness, reaction, action, awareness. It takes so much, to happen instantly in any given moment, and every situation is different. You can't say that you're very good at landing side kicks on people, basic technique like that, or a right cross, or whatever the hell you want to say, like come on now. It's always different. The angle, the distance, in so many things, right? So no technique is perfect and no style is perfect. Every style is basically a system, a collection of techniques that should be more than just a collection of techniques, but a system that kind of fits into each other, like the alphabet. Letters fit into each other to form words, and the words form together in different patterns to create the grammar for a language. It's the same way, but speaking is no good. You've got to have listening as well. So you're learning how to, ice skate. You're learning your balance when you're on the ice. It's not the ice that's dangerous, it's your own body, but you can only swim in the water, so to speak. So you're working with nature and the flow of things. The same as two boxers in the ring, and yes, I'll give you that, the same as two MMA fighters in the ring. So every style is useful. Now, I talk about true martial arts, as I call it, true martial arts, being the traditional martial arts. I changed my terminology because some people turn around and say that, Muay Thai and these arts are also traditional, which is true. And seeing as it's 10, 20, God knows what years now, MMA is making somewhat of a modern mini history for itself, which is a big history as far as a human being's life goes. MMA and UFC and all that is making a history, so you could call it a kind of tradition. But the thing is, I'm talking about two different kinds. These are two different kinds. You've got traditional martial arts, which are the true martial arts of old ancient ways, which are dying out, and today's modern, a lot of ignorant people out there, they regard it as bullshido, they call it, not bushido, a true thing, the art of the warrior, but bullshido. I mean, just call it bullshit. Basically, they're saying it's useless. They don't understand what it is. They've got this arrogance about them because they watch a few videos on YouTube. They know there are kung fu movies and things, but they've not looked into them properly. And there are a few people that have had some experience in those arts, and they're, also under the same impression, because they've just been bought. Their minds have been bought and sold, by this, but what's going on, the in thing. And they see the muscles, they see the power, the instantaneous, these guys beating the shit out of each other in the ring. Oh, that's real, man. He's taking the guy down, he's punching his head in blood, throwing the kicks. Lean, athletic, athletes, strong, the MMA. And in terms of the terminology, martial art, warfare art, as in with the body and fighting, it is, isn't it? It is good. It's applicable for self-defense. These skills can be taught to people, and it's good training. I've even heard Navy SEALs and stuff talking about the training, saying what's bullshit and what's not, and they're saying, a lot of them like some of the MMA training, and MMA is good. But the thing is that people don't understand is when I talk about traditional ancient martial arts and saying it's superior, people don't understand what I'm not saying that those styles are better than these styles. What I'm trying to say is there's so much wealth of knowledge there, so much. I'm not saying you need 100 techniques opposed to 2 two good techniques. I'm just saying. You've got a library of books there, and you're just burning it. I'm not talking about like this is old history. It used to work back then. There's a reason things move on, and now things are advancing. I hear this all the time. That's not true. Not because I live in the past or I follow bullshit and nonsense. There is nonsense out there too, and there always has been. But the traditional martial arts are deep, deep. I say again, very thorough, very, very, very structured, very good, effective systems. Okay, of combat, and they're, you know, a lot of times they're useful for, you can kill people with them, but you know it's made for self-defense. And there was so much humbleness. I don't mean that you don't get humble people now. You can get humble people, you can get good people, you can get people that practice MMA and they're not like tough guy, big bad guys, you know, big nasty people, or even they might not even want to get into competition, but they're just people that train, you know. And you can get that, of course you can. We're human beings, you know. Martial arts is meant to make you a human being, a better human being, more healthy. But you need a healthy mind before a healthy body. It's not just about fighting people; it's about peace, inner peace. So it's like, you know, some of the Shaolin monks, yeah, and people have said, like the Shaolin abbot even said, when he said, whether you believe that's all bullshit or not, or whatever, to whatever extent. I know there's different levels of bullshit and all kinds of stuff. I know, but hold on one second. Yeah, thank you. I just had to stop the video there for one moment. But I'm just saying, yeah, like, you know, the Shaolin monks. Okay, the Shaolin monks in the Shaolin temple, they're Buddhist monks. Okay, now I'm not religious as such. I do follow the Taoist kind of philosophy, though. I do, like, in terms of nature and the yin and yang and the balance. I believe that's the only thing relative in our lives. Nature, you know, following the truth. Not this made-up, ignorant society we see around us of greed and competition. That's what it's all about. And ignorance, thinking you know it all, and, you know, and being above people. That's not what it's about. Okay, it's about balance and true listening, and, you know, being one with it all. You know, doesn't mean following everything either and losing yourself, or following just yourself and leaving the whole world behind either. But let's go back again to that. So with the Buddhist thing, right? So, but they're still talking about nature and being one with nature and calm on the inside. The mind has got to be clear, like clear water. You know, your personality, calm, and that's what he was saying. So some people said if you don't have that kind of right personality, you can't learn kung fu. Like some of these monks were saying, you know, the abbot of Shaolin was saying, and he was saying about, you know, he can't imagine a life where you train kung fu without religion. Now, me personally, I'm not religious, but I do believe in that thing. It's the mind and the belief of a mind, of a human being, the peace level. And if you don't have that in you, yeah, it is an empty, definitely an empty journey. Just training it to train the body, just to punch, kick people, and show your muscles. And it doesn't matter how strong you are. I don't need to compete with people and show my six-pack and all this. For what? When someone's stabbing you to death, or, you know, it's like, or someone's just got a bad attitude towards you. You don't need to worry and fall to that level. Now we've all done it. Okay, I do it. Sometimes I just choose, and I'm above things in my mind. I don't. I know what's right and wrong, but sometimes I just say, "Oh, shut up," you know, "fuck you," or I'll leave a message for someone, and then shut them. Because if someone berates me with so much crap, I'll just give them a simple answer or nothing, and that's it. But even answering back is childish, so I still regret sometimes doing that, because I fall to that same level. You should never fall to the same level of bullies, you know, because that's the whole thing about martial arts. It's about not giving any of your energy, or giving yourself over too much to evil, to confusion, to ego itself. And by, you know, fighting with your enemies, sometimes even in speech, even you're not helping them to clearly come to a calmness and awareness of listening to their own self and their own thoughts and their own balance. You know what I mean? It's like you walk up to a drunk man and you try to push him over, or beat him up. It's just, That's not helping, you know, or like shouting at someone and being aggressive at someone, you know, when they're in a bad mood. It's not going to help them necessarily. So really, you can't always intervene like that, you know. But let's get back to what I was saying there. Basically, what I was trying to say was is yeah. So where was I? So but the traditional martial arts, the ancient ways of the martial arts and kung fu. I'm saying kung fu because it's a big branch of many systems, from which other things also came from, like karate systems, kempo, various in betweens as well. A lot of kung fu techniques can be seen in various karate systems, and some of those systems are actually even more applicable than some kung fu systems. But you've got different systems of tai chi, okay, so tai chi, bagua, okay, internal arts. There's so many. I'm not going to go through the whole list. There's so many. Wing Chun's amazing, but let's look at those arts, okay. Tai chi, right? For example, tai chi, bagua, okay. Aikido of Japan. Some of those soft techniques that you see and similar to Aikido in ninjutsu, taijutsu, bare hands. And how many people out there practice that? You know, this is what I'm talking about. But everybody knows the latest MMA star is beating the shit out of someone. They think this is bullshit, or they don't understand. Because they just don't know. I'm not putting them down. I'm saying they don't know. And Wing Chun, I was going to say another one is Wing Chun, right? These arts, Aikido, Wing Chun, Tai Chi, right? Tai Chi, and Bagua. Please excuse me for my pronunciation. I speak Mandarin Chinese, as I say. I've been living in China for so many years, as I say. But yeah, however you want to pronounce it, Tai Chi or Tai Chi, you know. But let's get back to the thing I'm saying though. So you know, I've been making videos since 2008 talking about this stuff and sharing what I know humbly and my little bit of knowledge in martial arts. I've been training so hard. I've trained in all weathers. You know, I've got my own experience in training different parts of China. I've been training since I was a young boy when I was back in England, because I was born in London, England. And my whole life I've just been training. My whole life in martial arts, in all kinds of situations. In terms of using the skills, okay, for self-defense, I have used it a couple of times. Skills, and the funny thing is though, they're not, you know, it's not the kind of skills that I would use. I was actually forced to just throw kicks out basically, at people's heads. I'm not. Someone tried to drag me away, try to kidnap me, so I kicked the guy in the head. Motherfucker. Not boasting, but you know, he got the guy away. Thank God. Okay. Wasn't a really hard kick, but I did shot that kick out. You know, just to scare him off, and I was like ready. But it could have turned out worse, you know. But so many times I've been beaten up. I was bullied when I was a young boy. I was bullied very hard. It affected all my life. I've always been very quiet. I've never been like big and tough physically or mentally, in certain ways, like to stand up to bullies or muggers, gangs. I've been through a lot of shit I've had, but I've come away alive. I never, you know, felt like timid, like self-pitying, like some people do who get bullied. I never felt like, because of the abuse I had to suffer, I never felt like self-loathing or fearful of you know, not trusting myself, or suicidal, or like self-harming and all that shit. I never, because I was more sane. I knew that these bullies and these horrible people, these kids and adults, and all these people that did this to me throughout the years, all these things, many things I've been through, all these people were just twisted. Their minds were in the wrong place, and they were doing what they were doing the only way they knew how, and they probably thought it was right. And you know, their minds were in the wrong place, but they were screwed up in the mind. I knew that I was sane, and I always wanted to stay away from trouble and stay productive and focus on my creative side. So I have a lot of creative passion, as I say, like in art, animation, music, writing, a lot of things I like to do. But martial arts was something I always stuck to keep myself healthy and fit, and to be ready in case I did need to defend myself. I chose to learn more about the traditional arts, I went through years of karate training. Yes, I went through years of hardcore, kickboxing training. I've told you the stories before. That was hard training, hard sparring. Punching, kicking, a lot of sparring and stuff, physical workouts. But I focused on the kung fu styles, and I went to learn about them because I knew my build wasn't like the biggest anyone. I wanted to learn about these skills, these arts, this knowledge, what was ever available to me. Still, it was dying out because the ancient history had been dying for many years now. Not many people are doing it, but I learned what I could. I learned about blocking, self-defense, grappling, control, energy control, just defending myself. Throws, a few basic things. And I know just from what I learned in that, coupled with the philosophy of all of that, which is very different to MMA because it's a deep kung fu philosophy. We're not talking about, just MMA is to the point, man. Let's face it, it's a science. MMA is a science. Jiu-Jitsu is a science. Muay Thai is a science. They're very good. I know boxing, wrestling, it's all great. I know that for what they are, but that's it. Power. There's things with leverage and where you use the opponent's attack against them. I know that there's slippery movement and stuff, but mainly it's about restraining them. When you watch an MMA fight, most of the time you're going to see sweat on these guys. You're going to see blood on them or sweat because they're restraining the guys. They're wrestling. They've got legs wrapping around. They're punching. It's just full in. You know what I mean. You can be a writer or whatever, some kind of, I don't know, man, a violin player. You can be a painter, or you can be a bricklayer. A builder on the building site. And they're going to sweat. There's different kinds of energy. You're burning and using your energy. I'm not saying they're wasting their energy. On ego and money, I would say yes, they are. And putting themselves in danger, yes. But and laying on the ground in the middle of the street when people are coming at you with crowbars and you're just coming away from your wedding, then are you going to really do that ground fighting? That's another thing. But obviously you don't want to be doing that. But I'm just saying, MMA skills and the martial arts that it's made of, the mixed martial arts, the skills, some of these people have backgrounds in karate and other things, and they do. And some of these people are very good at what they do, okay? And effectively, yes, you can be a mixed martial artist by having knowledge in various different martial arts, any martial arts. But you've got martial arts and then you've got martial arts. See, MMA is a group of mainly more recognised styles such as jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, these kind of arts. That is, what we've just said, solid fighting, athletic. It's a different kind of sport type fighting. No BS, no fancy suits and all that outfit. Just two guys with shorts on, bunch of tattoos, and they want to call kung fu outfits and karate gis, they want to call those ego, man. That was humble. That was just outfits of old, that was just comfortable wear. It wasn't. That's coming from a history. People would today don't understand, but they cover themselves in tattoos. Fair enough. If you like the style, that's fine. But if it's for advertisement, I don't know. Or if it's meant to intimidate your opponent, I don't know. Maybe that's another thing, like army camouflage, gang tattoos, whatever it is. I don't know. It's this modern day, this ego that comes with it. I don't understand this attitude. Sorry. But you need to understand your own attitude. Don't let me or anybody else. Don't let some tough guy or some skinny pussy like myself tell you, right? You're not moved, you're not fazed by that, right? You want to do people in, full of anger. That's weakness, do you see? That is that's the whole thing. It's a shallow thing. So you shouldn't have that. So if you're tough, if you're confident, you'll naturally be calm and natural. How confident or how strong is a tree? And that's what we use a lot, for example, in Kung Fu. It's just literally part of nature. It's not putting it on, acting. So you get some Kung Fu guy acting, doing fancy moves, and then the MMA guy beats the shit out of him because he's like straight up fighting. And that's the other way around, see? But the truth is, what works in a situation. Now, traditional martial arts, ancient kung fu, ninjutsu, aikido, karate systems, these kind of things, are deep, and they've got so much knowledge and so much useful skill and combative techniques that you can use as a structure for fighting that is so very, very applicable. Sometimes flashy, sometimes not flashy, ugly, but it's all very, very applicable, most of it. And you'd be a fool to burn down the library and reject the fact that there's actually possibly knowledge there just because you're reading your whatever it is on your latest technology on your phone. No, okay, that's absolutely wrong. You know, um, and this is the very, very sad thing. People come to the road and they think they know everything. I've said this, okay, I said in a message, I said that some of these people were literally born yesterday. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but I mean they literally were born like late, you know. Like I was born in the 80s, 1982, and that was already much later than some of the great martial artists that went before me and the other generations. But there were people, you know, that were born, you know, let's say 10, 20 years after me. Like there's people now who are like 18, 19 years of age. You see, 18, 19, maybe 20 or 20 something years of age. I'm 37, I'll be 38 this year. But they were born into a world, and we've seen it in the last 10, 20 years how mobile phones are taking over everybody's lives. The interest in kung fu and those kind of movies and stuff that we grew up watching have been going down. But they know of them, and they know there's some fancy, flashy kung fu movies, but they don't know where they actually come from. Before any of those movies, the old history and the ancient history. I'm talking before Bruce Lee has got a long history. A long history. And it's so incredible. It's such deep knowledge. True Kung Fu is more than just muscles. It really is an amazing art, the traditional art, and I include karate, taijutsu, ninjutsu, bare hands, ninjutsu skills. I include those in the Kung Fu kind of grouping, and Aikido and Taiji, because they're the kind of arts I'm talking about. And there's a lot of branches of those different systems too. Different group family systems, but the thing I'm trying to say is when it comes to just wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, yeah, they've got a lot, they can owe a lot to that. Jiu-jitsu, judo, aikido, all these things, they come from the same kind of group. Judo, aikido, jiu-jitsu, whatever, there is different kinds, aiki, jiu-jitsu, hapkido, taekwondo, there's a lot of linking from all those different arts, even silat, there's so many arts, okay, that are, you know, and then again other arts like Krav Maga and army training, like techniques you see and stuff, commando training. This stuff is it's all interrelated and come from that. But what they're doing unknowingly, they're rejecting history because they watch a few idiots who don't. Oh, let's rephrase that. They watch a few people that just weren't the real deal. Getting there. I'm not saying I'm the real deal. Like I'm tough. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, right, people that just got their ass beat in a few YouTube videos, they say, oh, because of that and because of kung fu movies and cartoons, so they want to put down and reject the long history of traditional martial arts. And you get one or two humble people that will say, oh no, I know that, you know, there's some benefits, or oh, you know, I know this is what some people say. Some people say, oh yeah, well, this is one or two rare people you get who will turn around and they will say, oh, fair enough, you know, Kung Fu had its time and the old arts had their time, but nowadays things have advanced and moved on and people fight differently. Bullshit, people fight differently. We're not going to be in some fancy stance doing the technique, I'm not saying that, but if you're on the street and some thug, just type it in, go on YouTube now and type it in. And type in fights, you'll see loads of street fights, thugs and stuff, and just coming at you. It doesn't matter who you are, man. If someone's coming at you, martial arts or no martial arts, you've got two arms and two legs, like Bruce Lee said. It's how you react and how you cover. You can do MMA, you can grab the person's arm, hit. You can't tell me, or you can't tell me what I can't do with my body. Well, I can't tell you what you can't do with your body. It's what you believe in, what you train reactively. If you train every day, someone's going to hit you. You do this, and you stop the arm or grab the arm, elbow, whatever technique it is, you can work it. It's like dancing, or some people, you can see some people that have some physical ability of their body, you know, they can do stuff. Where's the limit? Come on now, really. There's no limit in terms of physical movement, strength, flexibility, endurance. It's literally up to you. And people will say that's not possible if they see 5 people on different videos getting their ass beat trying to do some fancy dance move. Yeah, but if you fucking do it, if you end up, you know, using techniques or winning a few fights, you become a viral sensation because people want to learn from you. And that might not even be a true art, it might be some bullshit. I mean, just something you made up. So martial arts is just in what we do, it's in yourself. There is no limit, what's better, or but the truth is they are true arts, you know, that were created and trained and structuralized up, you know, developed over the years. And people reject all this history and this knowledge, and it's very, very sad for me to see it because they just don't know of it and about it, so what it's about. So what I want to say is, like, it's like if you've never, you know, experienced something, you don't know. So it's like there's people out there now that were literally born in a time more and more later, you know, more in the times where it wasn't popular. It's not popular now so much, and they're not in the know about what it's about. So when someone like me comes along and says, like, MMA is not, you know, as deep as that, or there's so much more than just MMA, people are going to get upset about it because they think, hey man, that's just bullshit, that's kung fu movies. Well, who are you talking about, man? You trying to say I'm no good? Look at me. Again, they'll say looking at me because of my physique, and they want to put me down because I'm not Mr. Muscle Man. Because they see that stuff there, and they've got a point, you know, about endurance and fitness and physique. I know these people that are cut up muscles and fucking rock hard, you can see it. But I'm saying, like, they don't understand that there's other knowledge that's so much more than that, and not only that, could possibly be so much better than that. I'm not saying what arts are better than what, but I'm just saying that, trust me, there's stuff there, if you will, there's stuff there. Don't trust me, look into it, study it. There's stuff there in the traditional arts that is beyond, in depths, okay, in deep depths of what the people are doing here. So if you can, in MMA, so if you can win a fight with Muay Thai techniques or Jiu-Jitsu techniques, fine. It's all you need. Whatever makes you win, helps you win. It could be your words, it could be your face expression on a street fight, it could be the way you carry yourself, it could be a gun or a knife if you're in the battle, you know. But I'm not promoting that one, so, you know, I'm saying, whatever you use, Muay Thai, elbow, knee, whatever it is, MMA, takedown, whatever, if it works, it works. It's not bad. I'm not saying you have to learn Kung Fu. What I'm trying to say is, people to get in this back and forth argument over which is better, that's another thing. That's not the way of Kung Fu. See, Kung Fu is about humbleness and truth. So already that's wrong for two people to be at each other's. See, it's a lesson for life, for humanity. That's what it's about. MMA is more of, it can be a way of focus, to get someone focused and calm. It could help someone, it could have benefits. But MMA is more of a competitive sport type, structural fighting. You're fighting, I'm tough. If you don't have that physique, that muscle, if you don't have that, I'm going to do it, man, you know, then you're not a fighter. You see, you're not a martial artist, is what I'm saying, martial artist. Whereas Kung Fu, they don't realise, in the traditional arts, it was more than that. You could kill fucking people. You can in both arts, but it was, but it's trained. It's not trained for that, and it's trained in a different way to apply power differently. You don't see, you know, people who do Kung Fu, Ninjutsu, Wing Chun. Okay, you do see some people with some muscle. Fair enough, like, and Donnie Yen and all that. I know, but I'm talking about real life. Okay, people that have done Wing Chun. Wing Chun was invented by a woman. Tai Chi, okay, is not about muscles at all, nor is Aikido. Okay, Tai Chi and Aikido, they're about using the opponent's force energy against them. So when someone's pushing, you pull or absorb the energy in like water. Like Wing Chun, like I do the sticky hands, I train Wing Chun a lot and teach people. So, you know, if someone's pulling, you push. About going with the flow, they want to go high up, you rise their arms up. If they're going low, they go low, and you're filling the space basically with your strikes. Basically, just like what boxing's doing in some ways, because boxing, they're slipping out the way of the attack. So they're not meeting hand fist to fist like, you know, arm wrestle. No, they're going. They're not going power against power. They're moving away when they see the opening. They strike. It's the same thing. But of course, boxing's about generating a lot of power as well. So in kung fu techniques and ancient martial art styles, true martial arts, I call it, it's a different thing. It's just a different group of martial arts to the stuff which is martial art, fighting arts of today. It was superior and deep in so many ways, but it was, and I have to say it, right, just as I'm seeing it, right, I'm just saying it, but the traditional martial arts, they had hard and soft. There were some people that were ripped and they were fucking lean. There's people that are muscly, trust me. You see Honga or karate, some people that have trained Shaolin and they've trained hardcore. Just like your MMA people of today, or even better, much better in some ways. But there's other ones that have not trained that level because there's the soft level 2 and how you apply. I'm not saying soft like a feather, you do these fancy techniques and get your arm broken because I'm Mr. Skinny or someone's Mrs. Skinny. No, but the power of the techniques that we're talking about, we're doing, and so within our being and physical training, talking through the feeling. This is seeing is believing, but feeling is the truth. Not that you can win every fight. Okay, come on, try me then. I'm not saying try me then. The fuck, it's not what I'm talking about. Or in the street. You don't need to mock people. You don't need to get into a fight with people anyway. That's just stupid. And you don't tell people what you're going to do and look for fights. But the thing is, there's techniques we do. Like you can go with a hard style of fight. You can get two MMA fighters fighting hard on against each other. And who's going to win? They're not both going to come out on top, are they? Exactly. The same with the soft techniques too. So you've got things like Aikido, for example. Aikido's not the best for everything. Aikido's not the best for anything if you're in a storm and you fall in the fucking ocean or in an inferno fire, isn't it? No. Okay, shooting a gun's useful for enemies far away in the army, but it's different things. So Aikido might not be boxing or Taekwondo, but Aikido's used for soft. So when someone's grabbing or trying to, you know, for example, there's a grappling art, but you're using the force against them. So someone's coming with a lot of force, you're absorbing that in with the flow of the energy. This is deep stuff that people don't understand. You talk about it, people talk about jiu-jitsu being advanced and that. It's different, okay, because it's like leverage, but they got force, and it's not the same. So I personally, I don't have as much experience in both of them, but I know this much. Okay, Tai Chi and Aikido are similar, so is Bagua and Wing Chun in a lot of ways. And you're absorbing the energy. You've got the hard and the soft. You absorb someone into a flow, so it's more easy for you to be able to apply your technique because you're going with them. You're helping them fall. They're opening themselves up and you're hitting the vulnerable areas. You're not trying to use your weakest technique or your weakest physical structure, like your natural build, to try and beat some big tough guy or chuck him over. It's not going to happen. It's deep training and it's actually structured and worked in a certain way that works with the opponent, so the opponent's beating themselves ultimately. But in terms of attitude, it's far beyond this modern day attitude of just sport and competitive fighting. You know, it was trained on such a superior, almost religious level that you are just naturally calm, and that becomes nothing. You just see the storms pass. You know, it's like you're in the eye of the storm, or you're calm and everything's around you, everything's noisy, but you're calm. I can't explain this thing because it's so deep. But I'm not trying to tell you that MMA is no good, or what you're doing is not martial art, is not applicable for fighting, or Kung Fu versus that. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying that they're two different things. You can't say MMA is just a group of martial arts, mixed martial art. I said no, it's mixed aspects of martial art, fighting techniques, physical, a few kicks here, a few locks, a few hits, more of this system, less of that system, whatever. But the traditional arts themselves, none of them are perfect of themselves, but they are all training on a level, I can't explain, on a deep level, or more than just punching, kicking, proving you're tough and showing your muscles or having the muscles. So you can train to be lean. I can train to do more. I know for myself, we can't do everything, but the training that's done in the traditional martial arts, the ancient ways, were on such a deep level, and that it's just something that people don't know about. I'm not calling people foolish for not knowing. I'm saying you're foolish and arrogant if you put down stuff that you don't know about. So I would be arrogant to put down MMA and say it's no good, it's not martial arts, it's shit, or I'm not saying that at all. Okay, I'm not saying any art's better than any other art either, but I'm saying the traditional art, there's so much knowledge there, and a lot of people were born just too late to even be born to even know it. So even when I was growing up and I was starting my martial arts when I was very young, in England, again same thing. People didn't know much about it, but in the 70s and the 80s, people just knew because of the kung fu movies, and it was so cool. And some stuff was exaggerated, in the movies, but it was all cool, and you could see the physical ability. And of course, Bruce Lee helped to bring that realism because he was so real anyway, what he was doing. But yes, we had a lot of good champions and people from all over the world, and people would look at it, and it was more popular. So movies helped fuel that because it was exciting to watch. But people went in and they studied these arts, and they actually made themselves tough and good at some of the arts. But we were already late, even in those times. In the history, you had ancient history of thousands of years history that was so fucking deep in China and Japan and various different countries, And yeah, Muay Thai is good, man. All the arts are good. But this day and age, you don't understand it. Most people nowadays, all they do is just smoke their weed and drink all day and look on their phones, and some tough guy talking in a feminine voice. Oh man, you're a phobic, I'm going to put you down, or something, just some political correctness jargon, some new way of talk, and it's like fucking just living in this modern day and age, how they're brainwashing people through the media, and it's just all shallow. But they know about fighting, man. I know MMA, man. That's, people, There was a world before this one. See, martial arts is about real nature and real life and real people, how we can make a much more better way for ourselves in society. We live in these modern times, it's just shallow, and it reflects that. MMA is a kind of reflection, it's part of this new way, it's a new trend of the modern day, where people don't want to get off their arse to do things, or they're on holiday and they complain, they're on a quarantine and they complain that they're bored, they're getting more money and they're out at work and they're complaining, they've got everything they need and they're complaining, and just competitive, fight. I'm tough, I'll raise my voice, walk a certain way, but I'm fearful of everything, oh, something's going to beat me, and they've got these bad addictions and stuff. That's no good. Whenever you start talking truth, whenever you start following nature, that's the whole lesson of Kung Fu. That's what it's about. It's not about Kung Fu. See, the best Kung Fu's not no Kung Fu. See, the best Kung Fu's not putting something on. It's about being at peace and being in total control with nature. In total tune and one with nature is what it's about. I'm staying awake so late here. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I need to get ready to go to sleep, alright? But I'm talking to you guys from my heart, telling you that whatever you do is good. Just stay out of trouble, stay out of fights. That's what I would tell myself, I might get your ass knocked out, I might get my ass knocked out. But I don't hate anybody, and I'm far from a tough guy. But the thing is, when I've trained with people all through the years, I know what I know. And you can't tell me this block don't work, or that block don't work, or this throw, or this. And what, for my physique, and I've seen people with a much weaker physique than me that have been able to take opponents. I'm not saying, oh, that's what you need, skinny bastard and a few monkey techniques. I'm not saying that mantis technique. I'm not saying bullshit, obviously bullshit. Some people don't understand. Yeah, get some more physique and whatever, lean. But if I have a muscly arm, it's not going to help my kicks. Running around in a circle of fire is not going to help you. If you're in the middle there, you're at least just safe while the firefighters come. You know what I mean? Calmness sometimes. Not burn to death or drown. But I'm just saying, you know, there's a time to use energy, and there's a time to, you know what I mean? Like you run for an open door. There's a time to listen. You know, see, true kung fu is not about talking; it's about listening, riding it out, making friends. What do people want? What does nature want? What do people need? What does this situation need of me to be of worth to this, to make this work as for me in return? You see, give and receive. But people just know box the shit out of each other, face each other off, bad mouth each other, and that's the martial arts. As in, that's the way? No, that's not the way. That's why you're having such a miserable life. That's why people are so poor all the time, even when they're rich. You know? You know? People taking so much damn medicine for their problems, they're making themselves more ill. You know, people spend so much time with psychiatrists, paying them, that they end up poor as fuck, skinny as fuck, and less than me, and they're like fucking, and they're more sick in the head. So, but yeah, you know, a monkey or some kind of small animal like a monkey, have you seen them? When another big animal, like a tiger or some other animal, until the crocodile eats it, fair enough. But I'm saying like a monkey or some kind of small animal, cat or a cat, you know, when someone tried to grab it, you know, have you seen how fast they can run? A monkey climb on your back, you can't even grab it. And it just plays fucking games with you until you exhaust yourself, and then it takes all your fruit away. But monkeys don't play around. You study from nature. You study from the air around you, the water, see? It's no resistance, but it can do so much, and that's what it's all about. Kung Fu, okay? It's not really about, look how I can break this stick. Oh yeah, come on, let's show you my muscle, man. Punch my fucking body, punch my nose, I don't care if it gets broken. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. When you're on the ground, man, I'll hold you down. Try and stand up, fool. I'm not talking about that. That's not martial. I'm not interested in that. So I'm interested in what? This humble, quiet, bullshitter, Mr. Miyagi. Oh, calm one. And you say it's bullshitter, but the people don't understand what it is. The true kung fu, the true martial arts will show you the fucking way. It's sorry to swear, fucking show you the truth. It'll show you the door. You're even walking through the door when it's open. It might even slam back in your face as you come in. There's a lot of trickery, foolery. You know, yeah, not bullshit. I'm saying the fighting is wisdom. They let you fall a little bit, okay. And then they go, okay, now he's close to the water. How? Push him in the water. That's what it is. We're not trying to control people for a start. But you want to fucking, you know, they let people, Kung Fu lets people beat themselves up, basically, in terms of combat-wise. It's actually trying to help people stand up and help people. Is what it's really about. But I'm just saying, you know, that's what it is. And like, you know, but the MMA, man's about imposing, being tough, beating people up. Or you may say defending yourself. Fair enough if you're a wise-headed person. And all that, yeah. But the truth is, it's a 1 hour video on this subject. It's worth it, I think. I'm happy to share this. But the true martial arts, really, you train it all. You train strikes, you train your physique. You can always improve your strength and your flexibility, power, athleticism, all that stuff, you know, accuracy, breathing, health, fitness, energy, yeah, agility, all that. You can train it. Men, women, anybody, I don't care who you are. There's something in Kung Fu, there's something in the traditional martial arts. And MMA too, and in every art and everything we can learn, we can always learn something. We can learn something by studying that, or learn something by studying the opposite of that. You're always learning, the mind's always learning, as long as you're open and you're not just talking and fucking telling everybody what it's all about, more than I'm doing in this video. But you know, there's something in Kung Fu and the traditional arts, like Kung Fu, Karate, Aikido, Tai Chi, this kind of thing, for all people, of all builds, no matter who you are. It's not bullshitting. You do more work, yeah, do more effort on your strength and flexibility. But when it comes to MMA and stuff, are you going to do it, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? It requires a certain kind of thing. You're just a skinny guy like me going to be a wrestler? It's not going to work out, is it? So that's a good answer to someone's question. Someone's mentioning that. Yeah. It takes a certain kind of person. Kung Fu is a certain kind of discipline. Okay? That's what it is. Whereas what they're doing is a certain kind of discipline. So I'm not saying that I'm on that level, or nowhere near it. So I can throw a punch, I can throw a kick, I can throw an elbow, I can throw a palm strike, I can do this stuff to surprise someone when they're not even aware. I can crack someone's nose or someone's jaw. I know what I can do. You know, I can kick someone in a vulnerable place and really fuck them up. And I've trained so much sticky hands. I know I can throw people down and things, even with my skinny frame. Not boasting. I know what I can do. I train my punches on concrete walls. I know what I can. I know, not full blast, like controlled. I train on my punch bag. I train for some power. But when it comes to throwing and absorbing and the technique and absorbing and that control, that comes from like the Wing Chun training and stuff. The sticky hands, the sensitivity. That is a different art, and that doesn't require those 6 packs and muscle man and that. It requires skill and flowing with the other person's energy. And you're not always going to come into situations, hopefully in your life too, where you need to have used those specific techniques. So no martial art is good for one thing, as I say. They're all good for different situations. Each technique's good for a different situation. So not only will you you need that style, not even that technique, even for a situation in your life. If you can avoid trouble, good. By training, you'll learn a lot about these arts. So it's not about proving you're tough. Oh, it works, man. It works. I'll show you. I'm a skinny guy. Watch me. Kung Fu. Come on, I get my fucking ass beat by some tough MMA fighter, wouldn't I? But if the MMA guy was standing here and he was trying to do certain things to me, I know there's situations where I can move and fight back. Unless he's already taken me down and beaten me down, obviously the one who fights faster. The one I'm saying, if your opponent already knows what you're going to do, you're fighting, then you're already ready anyway. So I'm not saying I'm me per se even, but I'm saying in certain situations I know what I know, as in my body knows what I know, because I've trained with people, and I know the reaction, how I'm going to chuck them down, strike. It just fucking works. My body talks. But someone who's got more skill, and if they're more stronger too, obviously it's going to be harder in a situation where they're reacting. So I'm not saying just beat a tree up or beat a dummy up. I know, but I'm saying it depends on the situation. So don't reject history. Don't reject any knowledge. Look into it more. Don't just look into it and say that's that. If you want to look into it, or just say you don't know. Because I know, and the people that have walked the fucking path, you've got to respect them. I respect the people that do MMA. But people won't respect me because they look at my physique and don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm more like a fencer, fencing, I'm more like that. Different skills, you see. I'm not a bricklayer. I'm more like a painter. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Are you a buyer or a seller? Thanks for watching. Take care now. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. Train hard and stay safe. More martial art videos to come. Don't get into battles, let alone arguments with people. It's not worth it. Just avoid negativity. Please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've watched this, thank you. Okay.